Okay, how's it going? This is the deal. I've got a 2003 Ford Focus LX sedan, and it's making a very loud rumbling noise, almost like it's a lawnmower. I thought it was the exhaust, and I took it to a muffler place, and the guy told me my exhaust system is fine. And the reason why it's so much louder than it should be is because of a piece called the EGR valve tube has cracked at the seam. Now first I'm going to turn on the car so you can hear how loud it is. Hopefully the sound will come on when I start it and you can hear it. If you could hear it, you could tell that a Ford Focus shouldn't be that loud. So now I'm going to show you what the problem is. Okay, if you can see right down here, this is the EGR valve tube. I'll make sure I get my finger on the microphone here. This is the EGR valve tube right here, and if you can see clearly, it has snapped completely from right at the seam. So this has to be replaced, and there's two nuts here, and then way in the back, way down here, is a nut, a large nut that's 27. Way down here is a nut that's 27 millimeters, and that has to be taken out. Now I've read in some places that that rear nut can be tough to get off sometimes. So I have soaked it for 2 days using this liquid wrench. Now what I gotta do is take off this tube here so I could reach down with my open-ended wrench and try to get that nut off. Okay, so now this is the moment of truth. I'm gonna try to undo that nut, and hopefully it's not stuck on there. And I'm using a 27 millimeter wrench. So hopefully you can see this. I get the wrench right on it and try to do it. Oh, I think I got it. Oh, I got it. There's not a lot of room here to work. Now I've just got to loosen it and completely out and take it out. Okay, here's the piece. This is the EGR valve tube, and you can see this is where it snapped off, right at the seam. I was able to get everything off really good. Now I got to put on the new one. Okay, I got everything installed. I just had a little bit of a trouble threading it back on, that big nut, sticking my fingers in there. I had to lift up the whole air filter assembly to get my hand in there so I could thread it. But once I did, a 27 millimeter wrench easily tightened it up, and then I tightened up those two nuts, and now is the moment of truth to turn the car on. Nice. Doesn't have any of that rumbling sound. So as you can see, there's the new part. And if you can just make it out down there, you can see the new nut. I had to lift this thing out. There's no nuts that hold this. You can just lift it out and push it over to the side. You don't have to undo any bolts or anything you see on it. Just lift the whole thing and it comes right up. And now that rumbling sound is gone. Thank God.